Riley, Kennard, Davis. Topic one, please.
First topic we have today is a new segment I like to call Good Program, Questionable Transfer. What we're going to do here, Cart, is look at some of these transfers who haven't grabbed the headlines necessarily, but are looking at a very clear path to real minutes, maybe even starters minutes for their respective programs. But here's the catch. These are guys who I would say have question marks. Some even have huge question marks. Like you look at it, you're like, is this guy actually good enough to play for this coach to play at a program of this caliber? So there are three categories we're gonna put these guys in. So I will read you a name, and you tell me if you think they will be all conference caliber, a reliable starter, or they will underperform, maybe even fall out of the rotation.
Okay, let's rock out.
All right, first one we have Taylor Bull Bowen going from Florida State to Alabama.
Underperform, I think. I just think that one they have they have Noah Williamson in the fold. I think that Bowen's going to be a bench piece. And to be honest with you, he came from Florida State, correct?
Mm-hmm.
I know like his stats say he did better than maybe I think of him, but I always thought that he underwhelmed at Florida State. So I think that he might underwhelm also at Alabama.
Yeah, I think he was a kid he might have even been like top 30 in his class once upon a time and then fell like right outside of the top 100 by the time he enrolled at Florida State. I actually think he's someone who will be a reliable starter. He's looking at a clear path to starting at the four next to either Aiden Sherrill or Noah Williamson, unless they want to play those two together. Kind of some interesting stats on him. If you watch the highlights, he throws down just some absolutely massive dunks. Like he's stupid athletic, crazy wingspan. Only had 18 dunks on the season, though. That does scare me a little bit. That was third on his own team. Both Malik Ewan and Jameer Watkins had more. But I like that he can shoot, shot 41% from three last year. I like that he can block some shots. And I just think, like, being put in a system that's going to get up and down, but with a coach who knows how to play to his strengths, I could see him filling that Mo Diabate role. And if he's not at least a reliable starter, I feel like fans should love him for if they can just if I would say Oates just needs to get him to like realize that he's 6'10 with a crazy wingspan and embrace the grind and embrace the hustle plays and embrace the dirty work. That's probably the biggest question mark. Like, does he see himself as like I can do that,
Yeah.
or is he still expecting like to be more of a star?
Yeah, I feel like with that type of recruit, like you said, though, it's going to take like some inner reflection and like accepting that maybe, I'm not that guy, but I can still play a good role for a good team.
Yep, yep. Next one we have Kevin Overton going from Texas Tech to Auburn.
Ooh. So what was the middle category?
Reliable starter. As of right now, you're looking at it, assuming Pettiford comes back, you're looking at potentially starting backcourt of Pettiford and Overton, or it could be Pettiford and Abdul Bashir.
Yeah.
That's kind of that
You
would be
think
the two
Overton
options.
can get a run as a three?
Probably. I
You
mean,
know,
just looking at their roster right now, the only like true three they have is Elijah Freeman. Of course, they could play Keyshawn Hall there if they want to go with Sebastian Williams Adams at the four. Their front court's a little bit sparse right now. It's where I would think that Keyshawn Hall probably plays like 30-ish minutes at the four.
I,
But yeah, they could run some three guard stuff with Pettiford, Overton, and Bashir.
So I'm a big Overton guy, so I'm gonna go ahead and say reliable starter. I think that he has played for winning programs. I think that he was a really good bench piece for Texas Tech last year.
Mhm.
And you know, at worst, I think he's a really good bench piece for Texas Tech. So I'm gonna go ahead and lean reliable starter at maybe some point.
I'm a little less sold just because it feel like I want to I don't know, man. Like just I'm looking at this perimeter unit right now, and I think so much is going to fall on Pettiford and Hall. And maybe that's not a bad thing. Maybe, yeah, I guess if those two guys are like the high usage ones on this team, maybe Overton just has to pick his spots and knock down open shots. So yeah, I'll go with reliable starter.
Yeah, I feel good about that.
Next, Amari Abram at Tennessee.
Ooh. So this is easily a reliable starter for me.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah,
Sell me on Amari Abram.
so I just think that what he does fits Tennessee extremely well. He's a veteran. I think the defensive stuff will obviously be there. I think he was productive enough offensively that you feel good about it. This is one of the transfer ads that I would constitute as like perfect coach to player match. And I know people might disagree with that, but I just think that Abram's going to fit in pretty seamlessly with Tennessee. And I'm assuming that he would start for that team, I think, at the two spot possibly.
Yeah,
Next to
that's.
Gillespie.
Mhm.
Yes. So I like that.
He was the one who I was like pretty skeptical on. I mean, he only averaged 12 points a game at Louisiana Tech last year. I believe he was actually supposed to be at Jackson State. I think he was going to transfer to a SWAC school, but I don't know what happened there. Before that, Georgia Tech. Before that, Ole Miss. When he was a freshman at Ole Miss, I believe that was under my cousin Kermit, and I was so impressed by him as a freshman. I thought he had like legit shot creator upside, but it's just been so long that we've seen that from him. I'm gonna lean underperform. I think that eventually it ends up being Gillespie and Clarence Masamba in the starting backcourt there with Nate Ament getting a ton of work as like I think Gillespie and Ament are gonna be the go-to guys on the perimeter. And that two guard spot's gonna be more of a glue guy, maybe a little less ball dominant.
Today's video is presented by Underdog Fantasy.
Well, what's going on with your hat?
Well, my hat's not supposed to be this way, is it?
I don't think so. No.
Just like people who watch these videos are not supposed to not sign up for Underdog Fantasy using promo code SLEEPERS. At the time of this recording, we have 49 people who have signed up as a first-time user with Underdog Fantasy. Use promo code SLEEPERS. 50 is a very, very important number. 50 is a number we would really like to get to. You, loyal listener, person watching this video right now, could be the person who gets us over the hump with number 50. And we have a great free pick that you get with this. Donovan Mitchell to score at least 1 point. How many points did Donovan Mitchell have in game two, Cart?
I believe he was too short of 50 with 48.
Yeah, he had 48 points, 50. Very key number for a lot of reasons. If Donovan Mitchell scores 1 point, you cash in your free pick, and you can get your deposit match bonus up to $1,000 with promo code SLEEPERS. Sign up, put the promo code in, SLEEPERS. Get that deposit match, get yourself free funds, use the free pick, cash that winner, and turn your hat the right way.
So let's move on. Next, we have Indiana's mid-major front court of Josh Howard and Reed Bailey.
Oh, see, I think Reed Bailey deserves a little bit more respect for what he's gonna. I actually think he could work really well at Indiana. But a lot of that, to me, is based on what the pairing could be, right? And for me, I'm in
Sorry, I
between.
meant Josh Harris, not Josh Howard. I
Josh,
misspoke.
oh no, no, you're good, Josh Harris. So Josh Harris is the North Florida transfer, correct?
Correct. Yeah.
So I like Josh Harris actually. I'm interested to see how that translates. So we talked about it earlier in the comment section. He's one of those guys who he was doing like a lot of offensive boards, a lot of like posting up people as like a
Yep.
6'8" big kind of. So and a skinny one at that. So
hmm
interested to see what that looks like. I think that's more of a project than anything. I do think Reed Bailey will be a reliable starter, but I think that Harris is far away from being like a guy. So I'm gonna go and lean underwhelming as a unit.
I am with you as Harris underperforms. I share all the same concerns you do. Cart, there's part of me that wants to say Reed Bailey has all conference level
Oh,
upside.
we're going there. I mean, I'm
Yeah.
not mad at that. I'm not mad at that completely because I like Reed Bailey.
I
So
think
like
he's
I'm fine with that.
He's way more athletic than you would expect from a white dude at Davidson with his haircut. And I even think looking at some of like he's got really good body control around the basket. He can finish like acrobatic type finishes. And even looking at what Darian DeVries did last year with Amani Hansberry, when you could play him at the top of the key and let him make passing reads and he would find cutters, like that's Reed Bailey's strength. And I think DeVries can maximize that to where you'll be able to get him making an impact like as a scorer, as a passer, and as a rebounder. So yeah, I'm gonna say all conference level upside with Reed Bailey.
Yeah, I mean, I'm fine with that. I like the going out on a limb there for your guy, right? I like Reed Bailey. I'm with that.
So we'll stick in the Big Ten and go with TK Simpkins and Sean Stewart at Oregon.
Okay, so you're gonna hate. So for everyone who doesn't know, if there is 1,000 people left on this earth, and I'm one of them, Sean Stewart will have a fan. If there are 50 people left on this earth, and I'm one of them, Sean Stewart will have a fan. If it is me and Sean Stewart left on this earth, I would be happy because I'm a Sean Stewart fan. I will never sell my stock. I owned it from day one, and we are off to a rough start, right? It's on a dip, okay? But I don't want to sell. I don't want to sell the dip. I'm buying more at the dip. I'm gonna go out. I'm gonna say reliable starter. I'm not gonna go too far here, but I like Sean Stewart a lot. You got to talk to me on TK Simpkins though. But I'm
TK.
very much in on Sean Stewart.
Yeah, I don't think TK Simpkins is good enough. He was inefficient at Elon. That scares me. I think he does. He has a twin brother, which I love. TK and TJ. Great name duo by the Simpkins family on that one, to where that has me like a little bit like you might have a little something something. And I will say he does carry himself like a dog. I watched this kid play Carolina in the Dean Dome and do more than hold his own. Granted, it wasn't a very good Carolina team, but I still think TK underperforms. I don't think he's good enough for the Big Ten. The efficiency really scares me. Cart, like you, I was a big Sean Stewart supporter. When he transferred from Duke, I was so excited because I was like, thank goodness this kid's going to be an all conference caliber player by the time he's a junior. But I have sold the dip. He is like that store-bought guacamole. It's been sitting, it wasn't that good to begin with. It's been sitting out for a little bit. It's getting a little brown, and I'm moving on and getting some tableside guac instead. I think both underperform.
The guac remark makes so much sense, and now I want guac. But good on you.
So I have three more, and these are like I would say the most exciting,
Okay,
the ones that I will say have the most implications from a national perspective on the best teams.
please.
Pop Isaacs with Houston.
All conference.
Oh,
Yeah,
all
dog. All right,
conference.
I'll say this. Look, I have my doubts about Pop Isaacs, but like you could not argue the dude is productive, man. The dude is
He is.
productive, and also like people treat him like he played. And I say people. I'm probably one of the more advocates. People treat him like he just like plays for losing basketball teams. Like he got hurt last year, but Creighton was winning. Like Texas Tech won
Mhm.
games. I'm gonna buy it. Like maybe him and Samson like pop off and they become this great pop off, no pun intended there, and it becomes this great thing. Like yeah, so I'm gonna say all conference. I think he could be all he probably already was like all something in the Big 12 or all I don't know. Yeah, I think he will be all conference.
I'm gonna say reliable starter. I can see the path for all conference. It's just like I'm a huge fan of Isaiah Harwell, and I think Kingston Flemings might also be nice to where like, and don't rule out Houston. I wouldn't be surprised. Let's say I want to speak this into existence. I would love to see my dog Boogie Fland withdraw from the draft and go help Houston finish the job.
Oh,
Uh,
yeah, that'd be nasty.
that like I would be the biggest. I would be going to a game in the Fertitta Center this year if I get to watch Boogie Fland and Chris Sinak. So that to me is where like the I think the backcourt might end up being a little too crowded for Isaacs to become all conference. But I'll say reliable starter. Jalon Low at Kentucky.
I'll say reliable starter. I'll say reliable. I just don't think he'll get there like an all SEC level. But I do think that he will have a bit of bounce back. I know a lot of people said he had a finger injury down the stretch last year. I look for his shooting percentages to increase a little bit. I think he'll be a reliable starter for Kentucky.
I'm going to say all conference upside. I'm not ready to say it for sure happens, but I think when you look at what Pope did with Lamont Butler, bodes very favorably for a point guard like Lowe, who's obviously nowhere near the defender, but I think just a ton of offensive skill. Like I think about how we viewed Jalon Lowe after his freshman year. Like if this was this time last year and we knew what we knew about Pope, and it's like, oh, you're not going to Jeff Capel, but you're going to Mark Pope, we would all be like, yeah, this kid might be a top 10 player in the sport. I'm not ready to get that crazy, but I definitely think the upside is there.
Yeah, I'm with that.
Last one, Cedric Coward at Duke.
All conference.
Underperform.
Oh, stop it, Riley.
Okay. This is admittedly a little bit of
Stop,
haters,
man.
and I know like I see you in the YouTube comments, all the Duke fans. Extend Hubert Davis. Probably gonna come after me for this one. Can I just read you Cedric Coward's stats against Tier A competition throughout his career?
I suppose.
So Cedric Coward has played 9 Tier A games per Kim Pom in his career. He scored in double figures in just one of those 9 games. He shot 4 for 25 from three in those 9 games, and he had 12 assists to 20 turnovers in those 9 games. That is the case for Cedric Coward to underperform. Let me be clear. I like Cedric Coward. When you watch the film, he jumps off the screen. I think from the defensive upside to the jumper looks good to me. The size and physicality, he should hold up to be that ancillary piece that slides in really nicely next to Cam Boozer, next to Nick Gemenia. Who else am I forgetting? I feel like they got another stud. Oh, Isaiah Evans, duh.
Yeah.
Like he fit. He seems like he'll just know his role and excel in it. But I gotta throw on a little hater hat today and say underperformed just because of those tier A numbers.
Fine. Fine, fine, fine.
That's all I had.
Oh,
Fun
so yeah,
segment.
no, my bad. Thank you, Riley. That was fun. I enjoyed that.